Guys, you're welcome to another tutorial. Okay, so in this video, what you'll be learning is how to create a croquis. Yes, a croquis is also called a figure. Okay, you are going to draw a croquis. Now, why do you need a croquis? You need a croquis because it will make your clothes look proportions, like real life proportion. Have you ever drawn a dress or a dress? Yes, and then you notice that maybe the top part is a bit longer than the lower part and something is just off about it. So a croquis helps you to make your figure draw, your illustration nice. Okay, so now, like I told you in the previous video, you need a paper. Yes, this is a paper. You need this paper, okay, a plain paper. The next thing we want to do with this paper is to rule 11 lines. Okay, now before I move on, I need to tell you that figure drawing or croquis, they have sizes. Okay, so we have some croquis that are 8 heads, 9 heads, 10 and 11 heads, even more. Now, what is heads? Okay, head is like when they take the measurement of your head from your chin to the crown of your head. How many of that measurement will they have on you, the length, on your length? Okay, that is what they call heads. Okay, today we are focusing on 10 heads. Okay, so whatever paper you are using, whatever size of paper you are using, okay, like I said earlier, you can use A5, that's half of this. You can use just anything, any space you have to draw. Just make sure it's a plain paper and nice. Okay, so whatever paper size you have, I want you to draw to divide the length of that paper into 11 parts. That means draw 11 lines. Okay, so for this paper here, it is an A4, and then if you want to draw an accurate line, that's from one point to another, I think it should be like 1 inch. Okay, so I'm going to use my grading ruler and then I'm going to draw the heads. Okay, okay, so now that you have this, what I want you to do is to number your lines. Yes, it's important for you to number your lines, because if you don't number your lines, oh my god, to get to a point and then you are confused, like where is the breast, where is the waist and all of that. Okay, so you need to number it. So how do you number it? So watch me. So I'll go from here. I'm not numbering it from here. Okay, so here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So today we'll just be looking at the torso, okay, which is from your hip up to the crown of your head. Okay, that's the croquis we want to look at today. So after you've drawn this, the next thing I want you to draw is a balanced line. Okay, you just draw a straight line at the center of your paper. Okay, just draw a straight line at the center of your paper, like so. Okay, can you see it? Right, good. So the next thing I want to do is to start my drawing. Okay, I thought I was recording, but it wasn't. Okay, so now want to start. Okay, now want to start with the head and all of that. Like I told you, the torso, the top part. Okay, so the first thing you want to do, like here I'm having a ruler. Yes, this is my ruler. Now this ruler is a 1 inch ruler. Okay, now I need to let you know that the head of whatever head you are using, whatever measurement of head you are using, let's say the head from side to side is 1 inch, that 1 inch is should be half of the shoulder. Okay, so if my head is 1 inch, my shoulder will be 2 inch. Okay, do you understand? If my head is 1 inch, my shoulder, that's the broadness of my shoulder, will be 1 inch. It will be 2 inch. And then now this is not a rule like it has to hold you down. No, okay, it doesn't have to, but it just makes your work look more proportions. Okay, now if you want to draw a figure, if you want to draw a croquis that looks exaggerated, there are so many exaggerated croquis out there that you see that the head will be very small and then the shoulder will be wide. Okay, you can go for it, you can do that. Okay, but just know that for the basics, you just need to know the rules that the head, it's not like a rule though, but the head, one of the head is half of the shoulder, the broadness of the shoulder. So for this, I'll be using 1 inch as the head, and then this is my 1 inch. You can do it smaller. So if my head is 15, is half inch, then my shoulder will be 1 inch. Okay, do you understand now? So the width of my head should be 1, so I'm using this. Okay, so I'll go from here. You remember this is my balance line, so I'll go from here and then measure half here, half here. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so this is 1 inch. Okay, this is 1 inch, so this is 1 inch, right? So you can see that I'm drawing it on number 1. This is number 1. I have number 2 and all of that. This top, I'm not touching it. This one, I just like leaving a space at the top for hair, and you know, it's always looking nice when you leave something at the top. Okay, when you leave something at the top. So now the next thing you want to do is you want to come to number 2. You want to come to number 2. Now you look for this number 2, right? Now come to number 2 and look for the midpoint of number 2. So when I say midpoint of number 2, I mean from here to here. What is the midpoint? Okay, so let's say this is the midpoint. Okay, so now remember, this is the midpoint, right? So now this will be our shoulder. This midpoint will be our shoulder. So here is our head, right? And then for this is what? Our shoulder. Okay, so remember the rules. My shoulder is what? Half of my so here, like so. Okay, so my shoulder is double of my head. Okay, so I have this, right? Okay, this line is not straight. Let me make it straight. The way I'm drawing, it looks okay. It's not straight, so I'm just trying to make it straight. Okay. Okay, so I just draw a line and then try to measure 1 inch. You stop here, and then another 1 inch will stop here. Okay, so let me clean this off. Clean this off. Okay, so now this is the broadness of what? Our shoulder. Okay, now for the neck, we need to draw the neck. Okay, so the neck is between the shoulder and the head, right? So the width of the neck is in between your half of your neck, half of your head, and half of your head here. Okay, so we'll go half. It should be half straight. It should be half straight. Okay, so can you see? Okay, so the next point we want to go into is the waist. Okay, the next point we want to go in is the waist. Now your waist is smaller than the shoulder. Okay, your waist is smaller than the shoulder, so you can decide that, oh, the waist I want to use 1 inch. You know, that's half of my shoulder, right? Or you can say you want to go smaller so that your waist will look more clinched. You understand? Very small. Okay, so the waist is usually at number 3. This is number 3. Okay, this is the waist, right? Number 3. Okay, so I'll go to the waist, and then I'm going to use 1 inch. That's for the width of my waist. So 1 inch, that means half here, half here. Okay, half here, half here. That's 1 inch for the width of my waist. So I'm going to draw my line like so, and I'm going to draw this one too, like so. Okay, so can you see it's coming up? No, it's looking like a, but don't worry, we are going to refine it later. So you have this. Now the next part you want to look at is your hip. Okay, now your hip is usually the size of your shoulder, except you want to exaggerate it and then you want it to be bigger. Okay, so whatever you use for your shoulder, use it for your hip also, but you can decide to make it bigger, your choice. So like I said, your hip is at number what? Number 4. Okay, so this one is what? Is our waist, and then this one is our hip. Okay, so we'll go to our hip, and then we'll go like this, and then we'll measure here too. Okay, so remember we use 1 inch here, 2 inch here, and then the same thing 2 inch here. So we're going to connect it from here to here like this, right? And then from here to here like so. Okay, so have you seen it? Okay, so you can see it's looking more refined. Okay, so now the next thing is you want to look for your bust. Now your bust is on number 2, not like your bust, your apex, that's your nipple. Your nipple is on number 2. Okay, so this will be our nipple, right? And then it's on number 2, so you look for the midpoints. Okay, and then you can decide to make this as your breast. Okay, same thing, make this as your breast. Okay, so this is my nipple, right? So now, like I told you, for today we are looking at from the waist to where from the hip to the head. Okay, so now we want to refine it, and then we want to draw it more nicely. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to come to the head and get the middle of the head. Okay, this will serve, I think there's the middle, right? Now this will serve as the eye level. That's the eye level. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is you just want to draw an oval over the head. Okay, so watch me as I draw the oval. Okay, now I like turning my I like to when I'm drawing, I like turning and then turning and turning and turning. Can you see? Okay, so okay, so this is my head, right? And then I'll connect my neck to my head. Okay, now to me, I feel the neck is too big, so I'm going to reduce it. Okay, but just know that anything you use here, you have to use it. For instance, anything you use from your midpoint, from your balance line outward, or left side to right side, you need to use it on the other side. Okay, so you need to make sure that it is straight. Okay, so here, right? So the next thing I want to do is to connect my shoulder to where? To my neckline to my shoulder. So I'll go connect it. So can you see how I've connected it? Sorry. Okay, so I've connected it now. Okay, so when you are done here at the head, you can decide to clean this off. The next thing you want to do is to draw a circle. Can you see? Is to draw this circle. Do the same thing for this part. Make sure they are the same size with this one. Okay, so like this. Okay, so there's a circle. Now you also need to put in your clavicle, or what they call it. Yeah, you need to put that. Okay, so the next thing you want to draw is your arm. Okay, you want to draw your arm. Now usually your elbow, yes, your elbow is at number 3. Okay, your elbow is at number 3. So now we are going to do something that they call the Vives method. Okay, so this is number 3. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to do a small circle. Okay, at number 3 you want to do a small circle, right? And then your wrist is at where? Number 4. Okay, your wrist is at number 4. So I'll do the same circle like this, but a smaller one. Okay, a smaller one. So what I want to do next is I want to connect from here to here, so I want to do a V. Okay, can you see it? So this is where your wrist is stopping. Okay, so the next one you want to do the second one. So now that you've done this, you need to shape it so that it looks nice. So you go, okay, so can you see more defined? So can you see that is more, it looks more more human than this looks just like a straight, like a technical drawing. Okay, so you want to do the second part. Okay, so don't mind me, I'm always like, okay, and then okay, so now you have this. Okay, so can you see that? Can you see our figure drawing is quite, can you see our figure drawing is quite coming up? Okay, so this is our wrist. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is to draw your arm. Okay, you want to draw your arm, sorry, your hand. Okay, you want to draw your hand. So I'm going to take another paper and show you how to draw your hand. Okay, so for instance, this is our wrist. Okay, so on this wrist, on each side of this wrist, I want to draw a V like so. Okay, can you see it? I'm making it bigger so that you can see what I'm doing. A V like so, and then a smaller V like so on the inside, and then from this first part you're going to draw it out. And then this one should be like so towards the longer one, and then to go and meet this, and this will also come to this. Okay, so after I've done that, you should do this. Okay, so if the hand of a croquis doesn't need to be perfect. Okay, so if you want to adjust anything, for instance, I want to adjust this, I want to make it smaller, thinner. So can you see? Okay, let's bring the lesson here. Okay, so now we want to draw our arm. So can you see that? Okay, so can you see that? Right, so our figure is coming up, but this part is still on looking very flat. Okay, because we have not done the lower part. Okay, so we are going to do that in the next video. So if you like this video, I want you to please, even though you don't like it, please give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and also leave your comments. If you have any questions about anything, just leave your comments. Okay, thank you so much for your time, and see you in the next video.